Hi guys, and welcome back to another video Game of the Powers. I'm Jake, and in today's video, I am bringing you guys another episode in our Learn and Play series. The board game we're gonna be looking at today is really a card game called Packed Up. I just did an unboxing of this one last week. This is a card game for 2 to 4, or 2 to 6 players actually, ages 8 plus, right around 15 to 30 minutes per playthrough. And this is coming to you from the team over at Very Special Games, which is the same team that brought you board games like Abduction, Bloom Chasers over here, and they most recently had a Kickstarter called Sky Scratchers as well. Packed Up, guys, is a fast-paced, quick hands card game of outdoorsy cleverness, where you are essentially going to have to do like some memory matching and speed a little bit. If you guys are interested in this game, go ahead and check the link down in my description below. That will take you to the Very Special Games website where you can actually pick this one up, and I believe it is still on sale right now. So go ahead and grab this cool, clever card game while you are here. All right, guys, if you have not, if it's your first time watching a Learn and Play video from us, essentially what I do is break the game down into 2 different parts. The first part of the video, I teach you and show you how to play the game, hence that learn tagline. And the second part of the video, I will demonstrate a couple rounds or turns of how the game actually plays, hence that learn and play tagline. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump down to the table where we can learn and play Packed Up together. All right, guys, so we're down here at the table where we got everything set up for a 2-player game of Packed Up. Now, Packed Up is very simple, guys. The only thing that comes in Packed Up is a deck of cards, and your overall goal here is to believe that you are the person that has the lowest weight of packed. And so the 4 cards that are right here in your grid is going to be your pack. Now, there is a possibility you could get lower than 4 cards throughout the course of the game and have less cards in the pack, which I'll talk about that in just a second. But I will flip over all of these cards right here. And what you are going to see is that on these cards, they are going to have a weight value. So when you think you have the lowest total weight value in your pack, you will go ahead and shout Packed Up. That will trigger the end of that final round. And then at the end of that round, once everybody has one final turn left, you guys will compare your weight to the weight of the other players around the table, and that will be your score for that round. Now, you do have to be careful though, because if you called Packed Up and you did not have the lowest weighted backpack, then you will add 10 points of a penalty to your score as well. Now, the game suggests you do this for 5 rounds, and then whoever has the least amount of points at the end of the game is the winner. All right, guys, so that's kind of the overall objective of the game. So the way the game is actually going to play, I'll mix these cards back in here, is everybody is going to be dealt 4 cards. So let's deal 4 random cards to this particular player over here to the left, and you will get to look at the bottom 2 cards of your grid to kind of see what you have. So this guy's got a bowling ball and some fish and eggs. So that's 13 pounds and 8 pounds, and then you will flip them over. Now, you look at these cards secretly, so you don't want the other players around to be able to see what you have, but you will need to note and remember what you have coming up. Then the game is going to start. The game turns are very simple, guys. The only thing that you're going to do on your turn is draw the top card from the deck, and then you are going to decide whether to replace one of the cards in your grid with that card you just drew, or use that card's ability. So let's draw randomly the first card from the deck, and we have a flashlight. Now, this player knows he's got like a 13-pound bowling ball, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, and then he's got an 8-pound skillet. So maybe what he might do, because he doesn't know any of these cards, is in this scenario, he would want to replace one of these 2 cards. That might be the smart thing to do. So when you want to replace a card in your grid, you will basically discard that card face up, and then that card will go face down. So now you and everybody else will know what cards you have in your grid, and now the card that gets discarded face up, we see what that was. So that is an 8-pound fish and skillet. But wait, here is where the speed portion of the game comes in. If a card is ever placed on top of the discard pile that matches a card in your pack, you can quickly move that card from your pack to the discard pile. So in this circumstance, we do, boom, we can go ahead and speed match that. And now we have one less card in our pack for the remainder of this round. But again, guys, this is speed. This is all about speed. So anybody else on their turn is allowed to do the same thing. So let's see if this player over here happens to have a pack. Well, he would only be able to look at these two cards. He does not, so he cannot do this. So you could quickly go ahead and match that. Now, there is no triple stacking. So once one player has put their card that matches on top of the discard pile, that ends that particular speed matching sequence, all right? But that is how the speed matching portion of it works. Now, going back to that specific card, let's say this card was drawn from the top of the deck, you can instead use this card's ability. So this skillet ability here would say, look at your own item. So we could go ahead and basically discard this card and use that action on that card. So we could discard it and let's say, let's look at this item that we have, and that would let us know that we have a 12-pound telescope in our backpack. And that is pretty much the name of the game, guys. That is all you're going to be doing. You're drawing these cards right here from the deck. You are deciding to swap it with one of the cards in your grid or use it for its ability. And you guys are going to take turns doing that again, as I mentioned, until somebody thinks they have the lowest amount of weight in their grid. They will call packed up. Everybody gets one final turn. You will flip over. You will compare the weight of your backpack to the others. That's the amount of points that you will score. If you called packed up and you do not have the lowest, you get a 10-point penalty. And after playing 5 rounds of that, then the winner is the person with the lowest total weight. All right, guys, let's go ahead and really quickly, I will simulate a round for all of you guys, and let me shuffle this deck of cards back up. I will simulate one short quick round here of how this game is going to play with the turns and the sequence. All right, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so these are our players. Boom, 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 boom. Player number 2 is set, and then let's go. Player number 1 is set. We'll have the deck in the middle. So both players get to look at their respective bottom cards. So we got a 3-pound pack and a 2-pound flashlight. Wow, that is a great opening start for this player. Player number 2 has an 11-pound tent and a 5-pound chair here. All right, so we'll go say player number 1 is the first player. So he will flip over the top card of the deck, and he has a 1-pound Swiss Army knife. Now he knows he's got a 3-pound pack and a 2-pound, I believe that was a 2-pound flashlight. Yep. So what he's going to want to do is probably replace one of these 2 cards. Now, something else I forgot to mention, guys, that when you are first able to look at these 2 bottom cards, when you flip them back over, you are not allowed to look at them ever again. So you have to do your best to memorize what you have. So in that particular scenario that I just did, where I flipped that over, that is an illegal move, and I could not do that. I would have to strictly remember what we have. So let's say we decide to replace it with this top right-hand card. So we will discard this card right here, and then we will drop it down and see what we have. Now, our opponent over here does not have an axe, right? Because I believe this was a telescope and a chair, if I'm not mistaken. He does not have an axe, so nobody can distribute that card. All right, we are going to go to this player over here. So he is going to have a telescope. All right, so his options are to replace this telescope in his grid, or we can look at one of your items and one of your opponents, then swap if desired. So he will actually use this card for its effect. So the effect will go first, and then we will discard it. So he's going to look at one of our items, and he will look at this particular card right here, which is a 10-pound. And then he's going to take a look at this because he knows what it is, and he is going to swap these. That's what he would like to do. So he is going to swap these 2 positions here, and then this card is going to get discarded. But really quickly, oh no, it's a tent. I thought he had a telescope. I'm sorry. So he can't do anything. I thought this was a telescope. See, I messed up. So in this particular circumstance, if he decided to do this, let's go with this because this is part of the game as well. He mistakenly thinks that that is the correct one. If he is incorrect, he must now take another penalty card. All right, so now he has to take a penalty card, and he has played with 5 now instead of 4. All right, guys, let's go ahead and continue with play. This player over here is going to take the top card of the deck, Bowling Ball. Ooh, he does not want the bowling ball, but he cannot use it for an action, so he will discard this card right here and just take the bowling ball. Now we go to this player. He is going to have an 8-pound skillet. He will use it for its ability. He's going to look at this new card that he just got, which is another 8-pound skillet, which is great news for him because as soon as he plays this, he's going to immediately play that card right down there for speed in order to eliminate that card from his backpack. So now he is back down to the normal 4. All right, let's go back to this player really quickly. We have a telescope. So he's going to use that telescope for his ability to look at one of the items of your player's hand. So he's going to look at this item to see what it is. That is a 6-pound Timberland boot. That's what we're going to call that. And he's going to look at one of his opponent's items, and he is going to look at this one, and we're going to swap those two. So Timberland boots are going to get swapped with the Swiss Army knife, and that's going to go down. And let's see if anybody, I don't think they have telescopes. I do not think there's a telescope. I don't think there's a telescope. We're going to do there. All right, we're going to go to this player's turn. He's going to flip this over, and he's got a flashlight, and he definitely is going to replace that flashlight with a tent, and nobody's going to do that. So now we're going to go back over to this player, and this player is going to call packed up. He does believe he has the lowest amount of weight right now. So this player is going to get one final turn, and he's got some boots, and he's trying to think right now, what does he have? I think that is a bad number, so he will swap that out. It's another boot. He'll swap that out with a boot, and then now we're going to go to scoring. So let's go ahead and flip over all of these cards and see what we have. So we got 13, 16, 17, 18, and 19 on his side. We have 5, 6, 7, ooh, that is 10. That is 18 for this guy. This is 19 for him. He is the loser, and he did call packed up, so he would receive an additional 10-point penalty. So far, after one round, this player, number 2 right here, will be the winner. As I mentioned, guys, you will do this for 4 more rounds, and whatever that total score is, or the lowest total score, is going to be the winner of the game. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this quick learn and play video for the card game Packed Up. Again, if you are interested in this one, guys, go ahead and check that link down in my description below. That will take you to the Very Special Games website where you can pick this one up. Again, as I said, I believe it is still on sale for $14.99. So if you guys are interested in this quick little card game, go ahead and grab this one for yourself. If you guys enjoyed this content, please go ahead and smash that like button, hit that notification bell, drop down in the comments below. Have you guys played this game before? What do you think about it? Do you think this is a card game that's going to be good for your game group? Last but not least, guys, if you are not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe so we can keep bringing you some more awesome content. All right, guys, have a great one. Bye.